Howdy folks, welcome back to my world of tanks with the mighty Jingles. It's replay roundup time again, although there won't be that many of these to go before I can finally start showing the shortlist games and announcing the winners. In the meantime, here's Monatomic in his T-30 American Tier 9 tank destroyer. And I find the T-30 gets overlooked a lot, which isn't really fair because it's a good machine. Everybody keeps talking about the BL-10 gun on the ISU-152 and the Object 704, and you know, it's a fantastic tank destroyer gun. But the gun that the T-30 gets is functionally identical to the BL-10. Now here on Himmelsdorf, it's a standard battle. And this is one of the other advantages the T-30 has over the Object 704 and the ISU-152. Although it's debatable whether or not this should be considered an advantage, but it certainly is in this situation, is because the gun is mounted so high up. Whereas the Object 704 and the ISU-152, they're very low-profile stealthy machines. The T-30 definitely isn't stealthy. But that can work against you in this position, because from here, the T-30 can cover this entire road alone. And he's practically invulnerable to return fire, because his gun is so high up, he can actually get it over the rubble through the gap in the wall here, whereas the 704 and the ISU, they just wouldn't be able to shoot down here, because the gun's too low. And of course, anybody firing back at him is never going to get through his frontal turret armour and gun mantle. As you can see here, he's got this entire road bottled up. There's a Jagdpanther, a Tiger, something else down there as well. There we go, a Lerva. Not one of them wants to be the first one to come out. Now it's possible they've forgotten he's here, because none of them actually have the view range. Is that Tiger gonna... He is. What's this? Yeah, that's gonna leave a mark. Ammo racked. Ow, that's gonna sting. And now the guys behind that Tiger have seen that happen, and there's no way they're sticking their noses around that corner. Just forget it. Not going to happen. So Monotomic's he's decided to move somewhere else at this point. Now, he's been sitting here for a while. There's only one tank popped his nose out, and after doing that to them, the guys behind him are going to be in no rush to follow. So, yeah, probably time to move somewhere else. So he's fired one shot, and he has one kill. And he has another good spot. Two shots, two kills. And it really is like driving a sort of big American ISU-152. Ah, hello Mr. T-43 on 618 health. This gun does 750 average damage. Say hello to my little friend. 3 shots fired, 3 kills. Now, it's just popped up on the map there. If you look in the enemy base, you can see there's a Hummel. And he's basically just sat there the entire game. He's AFKing. He doesn't want to play. It's Himmelsdorf. He's artillery. He's not. He hasn't lifted. There he is. He hasn't lifted a finger to help his team. He's just sitting there. And he doesn't start moving until he comes under threat. He hasn't done a thing to help his team this entire game. He's just sitting there waiting to pick up some easy credits and letting the team get the win for him. Well, what's this? Type 59, T-44 chasing him. And they're herding him. He thinks he's getting away. And they're herding him right in front of Monotomics. Say hello to old Paintless. 4 shots fired. 4 kills. This is a bit of a waste. But yeah, a kill's a kill. But, you know, 30 damage. Yak Tiger 88 down here is in an equally poor position. But that's pretty much it. Monatomic only fired 5 shots in this whole game, and he gets 5 kills. That's what this gun's like. It's like an American BL-10, it really is. And I'm quite looking forward to getting the T30 myself, I have to admit. I have my T28 prototype, fully upgraded, but I'm nowhere near the amount of experience I need to get this thing. But I'll get it one day, and I'm sure I'll have a lot of fun with it. So that was nothing spectacular, but it was a fun game to watch from Monatomic. Again, a 5-streak Reaper in his T30 on Himmelsdorf. Okay, this replay was sent in by Balcora. He's in his KV1. Now, he did stress in his email that this isn't about him driving his KV1. This is about his team. The KV1 isn't fully upgraded. He doesn't even have the top engine, so he's painfully slow. He's stuck with a howitzer. This is not about his KV1 driving skills. So, we're not even really going to focus on him in this. We're going to watch what the team do. More importantly, we're going to watch what the enemy team do. So it's an encounter battle on Sound River. And the first enemy tank that we see is a tier 5 medium, and he stops on top of a hill in front of 8 or 9 enemy guns like a frightened rabbit, and immediately gets vaporized. But what can we see here? There's a KV1, a 3002 DB, and an M7 medium tank. Those are the first tanks that we've spotted, and they're all stuck in the open here. They're in no kind of cover whatsoever. And here's the first real opposition that we've seen, a Tiger. It's a tier 7 maximum game. We're 1-0 up. That KV1's doomed. 318 health. I'm surprised he's lasted that long. There he goes. 2-0. The Tiger's getting pounded. These guys are all just lined up on the ridge, waiting for these guys to come over. There we go. Amarak the Tiger, 3-0 up. It's a tier 7 maximum game. Where are all the enemy tier 7s? We've seen a Tiger and a 3002 DB. And now they're all dead. So that's 4-0. Where's the enemy team? Where are all their tier 7 heavies? Well, there's a tier 7 tank destroyer at the front of the pack, which is where a tank destroyer has no reason being. And an M10 Wolverine, and he's tier 5. Where's all the rest of the tier 7s? Well, somebody appears to be capping. Now, the thing about the encounter battle on Sound River like this is that if you go for the cap, you basically lock yourself out of the game until the last few minutes. Because, I mean, look at the map. The fight is not happening. It never happens at the cap flag on Sound River. The cap flag is where you squabble over the last couple of minutes of the game. And, oh, this is where all their tier 7s went. Okay, there's a BDR down there. There's a T25/2. And there's also a Tiger P, an IS. This is where all their big guns went. There they are. Winning 7-0. And why are we winning 7-0? We're winning 7-0 because these morons, the biggest, best, toughest, these are all the tier 7 heavies. The guys that should have been forming the first line of defence against this onslaught, instead, have just locked themselves out of the game until half their team are dead. Who can you shoot at from the cap circle on Sound River? Except for people attacking the cap circle. And they left all of their tier 5s to fight off all of our tier 7s. And now, these guys can't even... This is the first shots these guys have fired. And they're already losing 10-0 before these guys even get to load their guns. I've seen some awful losses. But this is one of the worst. There we go, 12-0. Why would the biggest, toughest, strongest tanks on your team immediately head away from the fight and occupy a position where they can't do anything to influence the outcome until they're about to be overrun. That's what they've done. Some of the worst, just tactically incompetent players I have ever seen. All they have left is a T1 heavy tank. 14-0, and he's going to die any second now. And we're going to stop the clock. There you go. 15-0 defeat after 5 minutes and 3 seconds of gameplay. And you can lay the blame for that one squarely at the feet of these morons in the capture circle. So we're going to round things off tonight with some exceptional teamwork from Master of Disaster in his Type 59 in a very Tier 9 encounter battle on Himmelsdorf. So initially Master of Disaster is heading up to the top of the hill in company with a T30, an E75, a Jagdtiger, and I would have expected him to hook around the castle here, go over to the left, but instead, well, he's gone through the dangerous part, coming over the spot where he can't get his gun down on any targets on the other side of the hill. It turns out there's nobody up here. There's this very, very brave Panther 2. There's obviously artillery shooting at them. And you just saw that shot lob in and go over the rubble. There's an IS-6 over there. And that is it. And that IS-6 has seen what's coming over the hill, and he's not completely abandoned that Panther 2 to his fate, but he's not giving him an awful lot of support either. So yeah, IS-6 knows which way the wind's blowing, he's running away. Panther 2's so dead. Now, Master of Disaster is loading high explosives. He knows there's some artillery at the bottom of that hill. However, you're going to find medium tank guns, high explosive performance, pretty shit. There you go, 95 hull damage. He would have killed this M12 if he just fired AP. Now this looks pretty stupid, driving straight at this guy, but look, this guy isn't even aiming his gun at him. Now this could have been dangerous, getting his tracks blown off like that, smack bang in front of a T29, but the T29 misses, he doesn't. And the IS-8, well, he's not going to, sorry, not IS-8, the IS-6, he's not going to last much longer. Now, great little bit of tactics and teamwork here. IS-3 is engaged with an IS-6, IS-8 coming round to help. The IS-8 only has the BL-9 gun. So we're going to kill the IS-6, we're going to take a hit from the IS-8 because here comes the cavalry coming around the corner, and the sooner we kill that IS-6, the sooner our IS-3 can help us kill the IS-8. That was a good decision, and he didn't have an awful lot of time to think about it, but he did exactly the right thing. You're going to see him do exactly the right thing again in a minute. He really is the kind of player you want to have on your team. He's the kind of player who, well, he doesn't play to get a big number next to his name. He plays to win the game. Now we're being capped, and initially he was heading in to get that cap reset, but then, well, how can you possibly ignore a target like this? It probably takes him 2 or 3 shots to realise this guy is actually AFK. He's not even returning fire at the tanks in front of him. There are 2 Jagdtigers up there, but there's only one of them doing any shooting. And of course, the one who's AFK is the one everybody kills first. But then again, you know, the other guy is probably tucked in cover around the corner, and this guy's just easier to kill, so kill's a kill at the end of the day. But that base cap counter is adding up. It's up to 45 now. So Master of Disaster, again, loads HE. And this is the only time I would ever recommend using high explosive on a medium tank. is when you absolutely definitely have to do some damage, even if it's only 10 damage just to reset a cap. So he's loading HE to hit this Tiger. Cap's up to 59. Bang. Now, pausing the game here. He hit the Tiger, the cap was at 59. Hitting the Tiger reset the Tiger's cap. The cap only went down to 29. There's more than one tank in the cap circle. We can only see one of them. Now that building that the Tiger's hiding behind isn't big enough to be hiding anything else, which means that whatever else is there has to be over here. So he's going to have to pop out again in order to reset the cap successfully. Now I don't know at this point whether or not he's realised that he's got company over there, but he's about to find out the hard way. But it isn't going to change his decision. He really does take one for the team here. What's this? And there's the hit from the Tiger 2. So now he knows the Tiger 2 is there. But he still doesn't know what else is. And there's the T-30 that's been spotted. He knows he's going to get hit by the Tiger 2 again. Goes out and resets the cap anyway. Switching back to armor piercing. Well, because he's out of high explosives. And that T-30 is actually in a pretty good position to deal with that Yak Tiger. He's got his hull covered up. And the Yak Tiger is having real problems just hitting the commander's cupola on top of his turret, which is the only real place he can effectively, consistently penetrate. He just has to hit it. But, you know, any help we can give, I'm sure will be appreciated. And there's plenty of tanks crowding into the cap circle now to deal with that Tiger. So all that remains is the Tiger 2. No, the Tiger's dead. So, Tiger 2, and there's the enemy artillery. And it's just refreshing to see a player who isn't so concerned with, you know, getting a big number next to their name as with winning the game. And it's always nice when you can have somebody like this on your team. And, I mean, 3 kills in a Tier 8 medium in a Tier 9 game is nothing to be ashamed of either. And he did walk away from this game with 3,000 damage done, 2,000 experience, and 105,000 credits. So, yeah, sometimes playing the team game is actually worth it. So that was Master of Disaster in his Type 59 on Himmelsdorf, and that brings tonight's collection of replays to a close. Plenty more where they came from. Oh, by God, yes, plenty more where they came from. More tomorrow at the usual time. In the meantime, take care on the battlefield, and I'll catch you next time.